Sejam todos bem-vindos, bora jogar esse joguinho aqui. Lately House, não sei falar, parece ser alemão esse jogo. Bora iniciar ele aqui, só vamos. Aqui eu tenho que ver como faço para começar de novo. Porque eu já joguei um pouquinho ele, até fiz uma live dele, só quero começar de novo. Apagar o jogo salvo, pode ser. Pode ser. Você tem certeza que quer apagar? Pode ser. Você perderá. Pode ser. Quero retomar, eu quero começar de novo. Acho que vai começar de novo.
You are comrade Ivan Ivanovich Privalov. In 1961, you were selected for the Shukovgrad Interonaut Exploration Programma SSSR. Despite failing your basic physical and being caught cheating on your entrance exams, on the morning of the 12th of April 1962, you boarded a rocket drill containing the experimental device Little Orpheus, with the purpose of descending through the Earth's crust to discover the relative hollowness of the interior and its suitability for colonization.
No, you've lost me, General. Did I do what?
You and Little Orpheus were dropped into an extinct volcano to drill to the center of the Earth and find out if we could establish a city there. Note, if you will, that this date is over 3 years ago.
3 anos atrás, bora. Use para se mover. Ele tá machucado. Tá machucado.
Ivan Ivanovich, can you describe Little Orpheus?
Lateral Opera House é lugar.
It was large and round and had something of a disagreeable smell.
I was referring to its technical specification.
Well, General, I am no man of science, but it had this radio thing that I was supposed to use to let the surface know I had arrived. And some sort of battery wrapped in this lead box. But I was told to not touch anything under any circumstances. And I did notice the engineers who worked on it were quite a shifty bunch.
The Little Orpheus device contained a radio transmitter capable of sending a signal through miles of solid rock. In order to boost this, a powerful energy source was required. An atomic bomb, comrade Privalov. An atomic bomb that you have lost somewhere below the Earth's crust.
Yes, that bomb. Of course, General. I can explain everything. But it is a long and somewhat complicated story. And let me assure you, this is not a case of milking chickens. But you won't understand where your bomb and Little Orpheus has ended up unless I start at the very beginning and you let me tell you where I've been for the last 3 years.
Aqui eu também tentando colônia e ver o que dá pra fazer aqui dentro.
Then. But this had better be good.
Começa agora, hein?
Good, General. It's more than good. It's extraordinary. And it began like this.
Tem nada a ser dublado, né?
An extraordinary sight. I realized this must be the fabled land of Plutonia, as documented by the brilliant scholar Obruchev. A trail of destruction, carved by the rocket drill, led down into the wild and mysterious jungle. The rocket drill itself must have snapped in half somewhere below Kamchatka, and little Orpheus
Compartilhar
bounced
aqui, né?
out and became lost in that prehistoric forest. If I was ever to get home, my mission was clear: to find little Orpheus.
Vou ver se isso dá certo. Pera aí. E assim isso vai dar certo. Tem como colocar aqui link? Por que não deu certo? Bora aqui continuar. Bora. Deixa eu ver um negócio aqui rapidinho. O gráfico. Ah. Nossa, aqui. O jogo tá bonito, hein? O jogo tá muito bonito mesmo. Bora ver o que esse jogo vai nos apresentar. Parece que ele tá dentro de um mundo. Eles têm como colonizar alguma coisa assim. Vamos ver, né? Bora.
I steeled myself and plunged deeper into that prehistoric jungle where insects the size of dogs buzzed around.
Dogs. What sort of dogs?
I beg your pardon, General?
Large dogs or small dogs? Big like an ovcharka or small like a barlonka?
Does it really matter?
Of course. Detail is all important.
Ovcharka then, General. The size of an ovcharka.
I find that very hard to believe.
Would you find it easier if they were the size of a balanka?
No. But I am enjoying your attempts to persuade me.
O que eu entendi tá sendo isso, ele tá no mundo. Tipo dentro de algum planeta, tipo como se fosse isso. Pra ver se tem alguma coisa, tipo sobreviver, vida, alguma coisa assim. Por enquanto, essas dengue gigantes aí não faz nada, né? Vamos ver. Musiquinha da hora. Mostrando da nave ali. É dele, será?
Another part of the rocket drill.
Um
But
foguete de
still no sign of
perfuração.
little Orpheus.
Será que ele está embaixo da Terra? Parece, né? Tá aparecendo. Eita, quase. Quase, hein? Eita, tem dinossauro.
Between the trees, I could see huge beasts, larger and more ancient than any known to our modern times. Could it be that Obrachev was right? And deep below the Earth's surface, prehistoric monsters still roam freely.
Yes, but little Orpheus.
Vai ter debaixo da Terra mesmo. Pra cima. E voltar, será? Será que pega mais embalo? Pega. Nossa, bem no finalzinho. Na rabeta. Ele tá atacando, né? Importante. Vai tentar ir na próxima, nós vai. Subiu mais alto possível. Ei, ah! Tarzan agora. Eita, esse é brabo, hein?
The terrible lizard intent on making a snack of me was none other than the most awful of the monsters. The Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, now you are an expert on dinosaurs.
Oh, hardly an expert, General. Just educated by the best schools in the world, like all good socialists. And I remembered one crucial thing.
I'm listening.
Well, its greed is without bottom, its hunger is ferocious,
Tiranossauro Rex.
but its brain is absolutely tiny. So, it can roar and roar as much as it likes, but it will never be a match for the sharpened mind of the good Soviet worker. All I needed was a plan to outwit the monster.
Ele tá vindo aí, ele tá vindo aí.
Imagine my shock and surprise to find in that clearing the last part of the rocket drill. More shocking was the fact it had been ransacked. Someone had made off with the tools, the weapons, the rations, and the spare parts for the Pragviev. I began to suspect foul play. Perhaps little Orpheus was not lost at all, but stolen. All I could do was follow the trail further into Plutonia.
Ele foi mandado para investigar o que aconteceu aí, né? Entendi, tem que ir parando aqui. Ele tá perseguindo a gente de algum jeito. Para aqui ou não? Aqui não.
So we all agree this was the fabled land of Plutonia, do we? I don't remember accepting that.
I will admit it might not have been Plutonia if you are prepared to accept the dinosaur.
This isn't a negotiation, Ivan Ivanovich.
General, you can disagree all you like, but there's very little you can do to persuade me it wasn't a dinosaur.
I might not be able to persuade you, but I can always have you
Aqui, ó.
shown.
Eita, ele aí. Olha ele, olha o bicho vindo, olha o bicho vindo.
Olha o bicho vindo.
Ele sobe. Tem que esperar ele sair dali. Vou esperar, né? Melhor esperar. Não, da hora o gráfico do jogo, hein? Gostei. Corre, 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 corre. Olha pra lá, olha pra lá, olha pra lá. Para aqui, para aqui. Espera ele voltar. Eu tenho que ir esperando ele mesmo. Vai olhar aqui pra cima, não. Ou vai? Uma risadinha dele. Tá vindo. Nossa. Ah, caramba. Será que é pra não ver? Ah, tipo uma camuflagem. Ele tá suspeitando, tá suspeitando. Foi embora, desistiu de nós.
You hid in an egg.
Yes, General. I hid in an egg.
I am glad to hear your military training was not wasted. If only I had a single legion of men as brave and ingenious as you, with only 100 men equipped with eggs to hide in, we could roll across Europe in a day.
General, are you mocking me?
You are as sharp as you are brave, Tavarish.
O general não tá acreditando, não. Tá vindo aí, ó. Tá. Aqui ele alcança. Aqui também. Sobe bem e pula. Ai. Deve ter doído, hein? Ih. Lá não, acho que é pra cá, hein? Pra cá tem umas coisas pra subir, não tem? Bora ver. Desde que não apareça aquele dinossauro aqui. Ah, fez uma ponte aqui, ó. Boa. Não sei se esses joguinhos aqui tem alguns lugares, como se diz, escondido pra descobrir. Eu acho que não.
I couldn't believe it. I still struggle to believe it. A whole lost city, buried in that jungle deep below the crust
devia
of
ter
the
passado
earth.
pra lá primeiro, né?
Who would have thought it was possible?
Who indeed? It is, of course, a shame you didn't think to record the moment for posterity and help us all to get over our disbelief.
Devia ter
But I
passado
did,
lá
General, I
primeiro.
did. My training was excellent, and I immediately took out my comsamoliets and began to document all I could.
Eu faço aqui pra ver. Vamos ver se eu vou empurrar pra lá. Aí eu vou pra lá, vejo e volto pra cá. Se tiver como subir aqui, né? Tem como subir? Vai mais? Não vai mais. Pra cá não vai não. Pra lá mesmo. Pra cá também não vai, é pra cá.
So, where is this camera now, then?
Tem que descer aqui, ó.
General, yes. what of course I meant to say was my training was excellent, and
Entendi.
I immediately reached for my
Entendi.
camera, only to realize it must have been torn from my utility belt in the crash and lost forever in that forgotten jungle.
Entendi. Entendi. Boa. É muito de boa o jogo, né? Será que nos espera aí?
A horrendous beast had returned and was hungrier than ever.
Perhaps it was angry it had been fooled by an egg-wearing idiot.
That is unkind, General. It may have
Meio
been small of
que
brain, but it
parece
was
que tá
great
meio
of stature.
Whereas you, Ivan Ivanovich, are lacking in
né?
both departments. Presuming there were no more eggs to hide in, did you have a new plan?
I did, General.
Please, do tell me, what was this brilliant plan?
Corri.
I ran like hell, General.
Perna pra quem tem. Ah. Apertei errado.
Please, do tell me, what was this brilliant plan?
I ran like hell, General.
Corre, corre. O Ali não deu certo.
Please, do tell me, what was this brilliant plan?
I ran like hell, General.
Difícil não, é o que eu tô panguando aqui mesmo. É, eu tô bem na beiradinha. Não, acho que isso tem que ser mais na pontinha agora.
Please, do tell me,
Meio que
what
time,
was
né?
this brilliant plan?
I ran like hell, General.
Lá tem que ser mais na pontinha. É. É. Boa. Corre. Corre que lá vem gente. Gente não, né? No caso, um tiranossauro Rex.
Will our intrepid yet doomed hero survive? the jaws of the ferocious dinosaur? Will he meet his end miles underground as an aperitif for a ravenous raptor? What dark secrets could be buried in the lost city of Agartha? Will the general ever discover the location of his lost bomb? All of these questions and more will be answered in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
Oxi, acabou. Ah, episódio 20. Então tem aqui episódio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9? Bora, vamos ver o que tem pra cá.
What luck! What a miracle! One moment I was rushing into the fetid tonsils of that horrible monster. The next, I was plummeting downwards to the jungle floor beyond its reach. I prayed I would land on something soft.
Perhaps your head.
But nothing could have prepared me for what was about to unfold. An epic saga of pride, power, and revolution. A struggle for freedom the likes of which our world has never seen. And it happened like this.
Dá pra entender. Eita. Tem uns bichinhos aqui, hein? Eu vi ali. Olha lá. Tô vendo lá, o que será que é?
Who were those strange, gentle monsters who towered above me?
Pelo menos vai fazer
I
nada
could only
de ruim,
guess they were the lost tribe of the
né? De
Menkv,
boa.
an earlier race of people. But why were they so fearful of those ancient gates that lay just beyond their village? And why did they seem to recognize me? Why?
Yes, I'm also wondering why.
Ну а как же, генерал? Who was I to question such things? Trapped as I was deep underground. I was more curious, I must admit, about the location of Little Orpheus.
É, realmente ele tá no centro da Terra.
You talk of a great city, a mighty power. Yet your Menkv squatted like savages in huts at its boundary.
They did. And the answer to that mystery lay beyond my grasp at that point. Because it was a wonder, it truly was.
Abriu a porta lá.
The lost city of Agartha. I hope I may one day see it myself.
Oh,
Cidade
General,
de
if
Agartha.
only you could. Unfortunately, as I shall explain, should you seek Agartha now, you wouldn't find it. It has been utterly destroyed.
Foi completamente destruída? Por quem? Será que vai descobrir nesse capítulo aqui?
Utterly destroyed?
Utterly, General, a tragic loss.
A convenient loss.
I imagine archaeologists weeping as I tell you. But most importantly, before we continue, you must understand one crucial fact about its destruction.
Which is?
It wasn't my fault.
Foi culpa dele. Será que aconteceu? Bora descobrir. Tá preso. Será que eu vou salvar eles? Tudo meio que, como posso explicar, é preso mesmo. Oh, soltei um. Bichinho feio. Eita. Eu até sei, já assisti o do dinossauro lá, mas
Menkv, trapped and kidnapped and dragged away, only to return as vicious foot soldiers to some unknown tyrant. And yet, there was something familiar about the
Elas se
Stokovna they
esconderam
were
da
forced
luz
to wear on their
deles.
heads, which I was sure were being used to control and enslave them.
And what was that?
General, it curiously resembled the radio sets I used to tinker with as a child.
Radio sets.
It was very curious.
It was very curious.
It was extremely curious.
E ó, tem que subir ali. Sim, que nem fiz lá na... Quer dizer, o bicho lá mostrou como que é, vamos fazer aqui. Abriu a porta. Olha ele aí, ó. Tem que ir devagar aqui, hein? Vixe, tem mais lá. Ah, que da hora, mudou a direção do jogo.
An ancient technological metropolis, powered by a glowing resin, carved from the very earth?
A glowing resin carved from the very earth.
Só
You
fui
see,
aqui.
General?
I fear you're about to enlighten me.
Aqui também só fui.
Little Orpheus must have been drained by the impact, but whoever had stolen it and brought it here was no doubt planning to use the Agarthan resin to charge up the atomic bomb, restoring the device to its full potential. What sort of man would come up with such a monstrously reckless scheme?
Perhaps the type of man who has such limited understanding of atomic energy that he thinks an ancient metropolis can be powered by shiny marbles.
Bora que isso deve ser tempo. Falei. Achei que ia cair aqui. tem que trazer ela para cá. Ainda bem que tem esses bichos ali, né? Aí vai dificultar um pouco. É um pouco fácil, só acho só. Era pra vir aqui não. Ou era? Acho que vai ter os bichos com luzes. Tá vindo. Tem que esperar ele vir. Olha, confere. Bora. Vamos esperar ele olhar, daí eu faço aqui. Não tem nada, pode ir embora. Por cima deles. Entendi. Ai, achei que ia cair. Ai. Entendi, passou por cima para poder. Vai lá para poder desviar deles. Aqui viu um tiro. Aí que da hora. Olha lá. Eita.
I am curious, Ivan Ivanovich. You talk and talk about this great subterranean city. Yet what you describe sounds strangely familiar. It does in some way bear an uncanny resemblance to the glorious architecture of Comrade Alexei Dushkin. Wouldn't you agree?
Нет, General. I have never heard of this great Tavarish Dushkin or his works.
Interesting.
Excelente.
Because you were photographed on the steps of his marvelous Vysotka na Krasnich Varotach, shaking hands with the Glavny constructor.
That was the chief designer? The sweaty little fat man with the bad hearing?
Mind your mouth, Ivan Ivanovich. And don't think you can distract me by slandering one of the great visionaries of our time. Without him, neither of us would be sitting here now.
I must remember to thank him for that, General.
Vai. Aqui deu certo, agora eu subo aqui. Pulo aqui. Pulo cá. Dando bom até agora, hein? Vai ter um desse bicho aí gigante pra cá. A bola, lá ele. Tá vindo lá.
Those enslaved Menkv were trying to stop me. I was sure of that now.
I find myself sympathizing with them, I must admit.
No, General, then I have failed to win you over.
Uh-huh. A point of agreement at last.
Cadê? Que é tempo. Tem que puxar aqui e voltar lá atrás. Solta, 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 vai, vai, vai. Vai. Deu certo. Lutando. Vai, anda. Fora. Vai.
I must ask again, General. Are you mocking me?
That would be unprofessional, comrade.
I will try harder to convince you then. It is, after all, a cautionary tale of unleashed tyranny.
It is a cautionary
Vamos
tale
ali,
of unleashed idiocy.
Outro aqui.
But please, do continue.
Então vamos. Bora.
I stepped from the cable car onto a plateau at the center of the city, where a palace, a vast acropolis, stood. I was reminded of Chelyabinsk Sorok.
May I ask how you know of Chelyabinsk Sorok?
My Aunt Masha was a traveling tinker who married a beef investigator from Zlatoust. She told me of a secret but wonderful city in the west. An edifice of sheer power, humbly serving the will and needs of the people.
Yes, unfortunately, that story didn't end so well.
No. That's what Auntie Marcia told me. And perhaps that is why I was also reminded of it. Because the moment I touched the floor in that place, I could tell something was very, very wrong. The ground had begun to shake, alarmingly. and the whole city felt as if it was shuddering. I could only imagine what I would find in the heart of the vast temple.
If it isn't a giant glowing marble, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Teria que jogar aquela bola amarela pra baixo.
A huge resin sphere that overshadowed all of the others. I caught glimpses through the twisted architecture. And it was then I saw him.
Him?
The thief, the enslaver, the tyrant, sucking the power from this wondrous city as he drained the very lifeblood of the ancient civilization and drew it into the atomic embrace of little Orpheus. With a song in my heart, I raced onwards to stop him.
Caiu. Lá em cima. Tá desmoronando tudo, né? Eita. A gente para aqui. Continua. Aqui faz o quê? Joga pra cima, né? Deixa eles olhando aí. Não vai falar. Vai. Subimos.
Drained of its power, the magical heart of the city cracked, and it sent shockwaves through the world around me. A true monster general, willing to bring down the mountain itself upon Agatha and bury it forever in his ruthless scheme. I could not save that wondrous place, General, to my shame and regret. But I resolved myself to avenge the Menkv, to recapture little Orpheus, and to bring that tyrant to justice.
Caramba. Eita. Vem na pontinha, senão você cai. Caramba. Cai mais pouco.
Will our plucky yet careless hero fall forever through those unknown skies? Will he discover the identity of the brutal thief commanding the army of the Menkv? What chance does he have of ever returning to his beloved homeland? How long can the general's patience last? All of these questions and more will definitely be answered in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
E foi nada. Eu não ia salvar eles. O modo As gravações perdidas está disponível agora. Revisite as aventuras de Ivan e descubra as novas esferas espalhadas por toda parte para desbloquear conteúdo exclusivo dos bastidores e trajes hilários. 9. Segui só o jogo.
I plummeted down through that weird sky towards a great turbulent ocean that roared and swelled. A ferocious sea that offered no hope of survival. I thought of home and wept, unaware that in an instant my fortunes would be changed by an event so bizarre I almost hesitate to tell you. And it happened like this.
Eita!
A giant whale?
It was huge, General.
You were swallowed by a giant whale.
Yes, General.
You look remarkably well for a man who was swallowed by a whale.
I am blessed with a strong constitution, General.
Eita!
And I assume you are now going to tell me how you managed to escape from the belly of this giant whale.
Naturally, General. And I must say, it really was a fascinating glimpse into the interior life of one of our world's most magnificent beasts. I consider myself a wiser man after this experience.
Caramba! Tá dentro da baleia agora?
It was an extraordinary place, General. I could perhaps deliver a lecture on the subject
barco
to Moscow
perdido dentro da
University
baleia.
Zoological Society, if you like. I only want to help.
The Moscow University Zoological Society has, I suspect, better things to do than listen to the ramblings of a man who claims he was swallowed by a whale.
It is a shame, General. People can be so closed-minded.
I, on the other hand, have little choice but to hear you out. For your own sake, Ivan Ivanovich, I must urge you to be brief.
Absolutely, General. I will tell you directly of my miraculous
Você vai
escape
andando, vai
from the belly of
afundando.
the whale. You simply
Puxa lá.
won't believe what happened next.
That is becoming a dangerously overused phrase, comrade.
Lá vem.
And so I found myself deep within the whale's organs. A strangely beautiful place. A sort of fleshy wonderland. A glade of polyps and globules. A landscape as awe-inspiring in its way as the forests and mountains of Altai. Oh, my home, General, that I yearned and longed for and only hoped, as I hope now, that I might one day see again.
I think we're all longing for home at this point.
Eu sempre falo,
With
todos
warm
os jogos deveriam
sleepers,
ser
a mug of steaming
dublado.
spitzin and a roaring fire. Not far from home, trapped inside a monstrous fish with only the strange and evil-looking
Tem que
blood
prestar
that
atenção
infested
na
its
legenda
gut
aí
for
no que tá
company.
falando.
With
no
only
jogo.
one's dedication to one's country and mission to keep one from falling into despair. But no, General, I could not. I had to escape, to find little Orpheus and my way back to the surface and home.
Ah, não tem nada. Será que vai ter esse estágio novo na... nas fases anteriores? Essas fases novas que tá indo não vai ter? Não tem nada aqui, ó. Não dá soco, não faz nada. Ui. Ele cai de cada altura e não morre. Aí aqui... ai, caramba. O jogo aí, você tirou o jogo. Segue você andando e afundando aí. Eita.
Worms, you
É
say,
legal.
living inside the whale.
Oh, they were horrid things, those worms, General. And most unwelcome, I would say. Parasites. But I had not the rampant their infestation was, nor of the tremendous sizes they could grow to. At that point, my
E
thoughts
que
were
tá
only on
infectada, por
escape.
exemplo, tipo isso.
And I had a plan.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
Risadinha dele casará. Ele tirou comigo aqui, né? A baleia tem ácido? Não entendi. Será que ela tá doente, infectada com alguma coisa? Cai de novo. E aí não morre.
These
Aí.
worms, they made your
Nossa, ele foi na cagada, hein?
sick.
Wherever they attached themselves, the flesh began to turn gray and die. It was a truly distressing sight. I resolved myself to assist the whale by removing the leeches wherever I could find them during my escape.
Não sei, que não aparece nada pra pegar não. Pega. Aí, esse negócio estranho aí.
In my mind, it was a simple plan, General. I would climb up through the whale's throat into its mouth, then wait until it opened it to feed and swim out.
Ah, yes. Brilliant, Ivan Ivanovich. only one or two minor flaws with it. For example, did it not occur to you that the whale would likely be deep underwater when it ate?
Вы правы, General, but I am a strong
Tem
swimmer.
alguma coisa aqui.
As a child, my parents would take us to holiday near Irkutsk, where we took constitutionals in the waters of Lake Baikal. In fact, my mother often called me her маленький морской котик.
Eita, frio.
A giant worm for a giant whale.
Vamos subir
At the
agora.
risk of repeating myself, it was huge, General.
The Moscow University Zoological Society may be interested after all. Let us take a moment, Ivan Ivanovich. Your ridiculous plan to escape through the mouth of the whale failing, you would now have me believe you had embarked on some misguided crusade to free it of the worm infestation. To what end, exactly?
When one suffers, we all suffer, General.
Caramba.
Your ideological commitment is admirable, comrade, but...
I concluded that if I could find the root of the infestation and neutralize it, the whale could mount a spirited counterattack against the worms.
Como se eu tivesse. Eita! Eu estar infectado com essas larvas aí, né? Subir. Subimos, descemos, descemos, subimos,
victorious,
subimos.
the whale would surface to expel the remaining poisonous muck and slime from its body. And at that point, I could escape through the nearest convenient orifice. In this case, most likely the blowhole.
That is the most revolting thing I've ever heard.
General, we are Russians. We have withstood the sheer force of nature and history and emerged triumphant. An expedition through the nasal sphincter of a gargantuan whale is nothing to us.
Achei que tinha muito longe.
Victorious, the whale would surface to expel the remaining poisonous muck and slime from its body. And at that point, I could escape through the nearest convenient orifice. In this case, most likely the blowhole.
That is the most revolting thing I've ever heard.
Vou ali em cima pra ver o que tem.
We are Russians. We have withstood the sheer force of nature and history and emerged triumphant. An expedition through the nasal sphincter of a gargantuan whale is nothing to us.
Não tem nada. Tô ajudando? O que eu tô fazendo aqui? Tem que subir mais? Descer não. Oi. Esperar descer de novo, então foi o risco de voltar lá. Ah, vou perder pra pular.
And then, victorious, the whale would surface to expel the remaining poisonous muck and slime from its body. And at that point, I could escape through the nearest convenient orifice. In this case, most likely the blowhole.
That is the most revolting thing I've ever heard.
Henry, we Russians. We have withstood the sheer force of
Apertei pra
nature and
pular,
history and
ele não pulou.
emerged triumphant. An expedition through the nasal sphincter of a gargantuan whale is nothing to us.
Esperar. Para que passar nós vai. Eita. Correr?
I suppose you would have me believe that the whale was grateful to you.
Well, General, that would be presumptuous. I doubt it was even aware of my presence. But I had more immediate problems. For if the whale might have been relieved by my actions, the worms were enraged.
Worms
Furious.
Worms
Incandescent.
do not feel
Violently indignant.
emotions.
Demented, General. Deranged.
Enough!
Ih, ficou bravo com ele, hein? Cai de novo. Espera não, filho. Espera não.
Where is little Orpheus? Where is my bomb? Unless you are trying to dull me, the whale stole that as well.
No, it did not, General. That would be absurd.
No, Ivan Ivanovich, you are absurd. Your story is absurd. This whole ridiculous fairy tale is absurd.
Quase. Vai.
Will our brave yet foolhardy hero escape the furious worm? Will he be doomed to spend his days trapped in the innards of a bad-tempered cetacean? Where is the whale swimming to in such a rush? And what will it do when it gets there? Is the general about to lose his temper and order the cosmonaut shot? All of these questions and more must surely be answered in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
Caralho. Ó, mais uma. Um, dois, três, quatro, cinco, seis. Tá 6. E a batalha Ilha Saque. Ou mais uma. Uma, duas, três, quatro, cinco. Mais uma.
I flew from the
Eita,
whale's
pô.
blowhole like a supersonic jet. And below me, the ocean became a sheltered bay studded with right shapes. You will be amazed as my epic journey unfolds. For here, it was about to take a most unexpected turn. And it happened like this.
Bora. É a baleia, né? É ela, não? É a baleia.
It was a beautiful but deadly wasteland. Freezing cold, brutally chilly. Enough to kill a man in hours.
Yet here you are.
Indeed, General. An impoverished childhood playing in the
Já,
streets of
nem o
Omsk during
general
those
tá
bitter winters
acreditando
had
muito no
made
que ele
me
tá
hardy.
falando.
I thought you said you grew up in Altai.
Ah, General, the life of a poor toy maker's family. We had to move from place to place just to
Pensei que
find
ali é o
work.
marinho agora que tem aqui. Frio é, né? A roupa dele é boa também. A carinha dele. Poxa. Pula por cima. Fundo. Entendi. Então. Alguma coisa pra fazer pra cá, passar por cima dela. Eita! Ai, caramba! Eu não posso descer aqui não? Tem que podia descer ali, né? É que ele cai de tantas alturas. O gangorra, aí sim. musiquinha da hora.
Menkv led, eh? Of course, Menkv himself reported nothing more than a bluish fog on the horizon. Your island may be nothing more than the product of overactive imaginations.
General, consider this. Imagine taking a simple peasant, a
Abaixo.
pig shepherd, for example, and telling him one day humans would fly around the earth beyond the sky. He would say you were stark raving mad, Saldafon, a ridiculous Kazyol Baradati, a buffoon stuffed into a military uniform, a pridurak, a chuchela tuparile.
This peasant of yours had better watch his mouth if he doesn't want to spend his holidays in Salavietsky. Perhaps you should return to your story.
A história aí meio estranha, né? Me enganou aí, né? Os outros foi o B.
There in the cliff, I could not believe it. A hairy elephant, trapped and frozen in the ice.
A mammoth?
No, General, a hairy elephant. Who would think such a thing could be?
Tá bom, né? Assim. Olhei ali no instinto, hein? Da outra vez também quebrou a última madeira, né? Bora subir.
I trudged onwards through the blizzard, one foot grimly in front of the other, blinded by the snow, my nose becoming quite blue. My thoughts of home crushed under the weight of the plummeting temperature.
I am bored, Ivan
Ele tá
Ivanovich.
preso aí, tá
and
sendo
sick to my
interrogado, é
teeth
isso?
of listening to this rubbish. Let us speak plainly now.
Ele tá preso sendo
You will
interrogado.
tell me where my bomb is, or I will have you shot.
Falei?
I am just getting to that, General.
Shot! Comrade Primal! Shot with real bullets, fired from a real gun, not some ludicrous Bultavia about lost cities and dinosaurs and
Caramba,
Menkv.
falei pra você que o general não tá acreditando nele.
I will not tolerate anymore! Where is the bomb, Ivan Ivanovich? Where is little Orpheus?
It was right there.
What?
It was there. At least I realized it must be.
Where?
Here?
On Sonic land?
Yes, General. Because as the storm began to clear, I realized with a strange excitement and trepidation that I was not alone on Sonic land.
Tá inventando história aí, hein? Tá inventando história.
Wait. Go back. You say these lifeboats came from Zarya? A Russian ship?
Zarya returned home, but not with all of her crew. And here were the missing lifeboats, trapped in the ice for all of these years. And it could only mean one thing.
That you are continuing to tell a shot on my ears.
Então ela está atrás de uma bomba. Ele está inventando tipo uma história. Ele está sendo interrogado, está atrás de uma bomba e ele está inventando uma história.
Of course, I
Para não
remember
ser
reading about this
executado,
tragic
eu acho.
expedition at school.
Acho
We
isso,
were
né?
taught he had died a hero's death out on the icy wastes, searching for Sanikov land. Yet what if, in doing so, he had sailed accidentally into the interior, deep below the crust of the world? A fellow citizen of the surface. I had to try and find him.
Encontrar um amigo. Quem será que é? Ih, pegou.
A dead explorer stole my
Not dead, General, but quite insane. Perhaps it was the loss of the arm or the leg, or the long years in isolation. But Toll was clearly mad.
You should have got along perfectly then.
How I wish we had, but no, General. Whatever Toll's intention with little Orpheus was, I had no time to consider it. I was in mortal peril once more.
Bora atrás da bomba então. Nossa, falei pra você que mudou? Era o B, foi pro A, agora voltou pro B.
So, you believe that
Oh,
Thor
it is
had
aging
somehow
over.
enslaved the Menkv and bent them to his will?
I do, General. It was obvious. Why else would they serve him? And how else could they be so different from their freed comrades? These odd helmets they wore, it was the science of our times. No doubt about it. Although fused with some strange crystal technology I could not recognize. To be honest with you, it didn't seem appropriate to stop and ask them.
Vai que dá tempo eu sair no outro ali. Tem como ir ali. uma plataforma, mas não sei como ir lá não.
This stone. You say he was an explorer?
Yes, General, he was. He vanished some 60 years ago. I remember the story well.
And you say he stole little Orpheus?
To get home, General, to get home. I think he must have thought he could use the atomic bomb to blast his way back to the surface.
Brilliant, Ivan Ivanovich! And you expect me to believe that a 100-year-old madman not only survived below the Earth's crust, but enslaved his Menkv, explored the lost worlds, and discovered the secrets of atomic power all by himself?
A Tsarist general! An imperialist! No doubt harking back to the terrible days before the Great Revolution. And Estonian!
Estonia?
Estonian, General!
They are wily people.
Aqui é pra trás. Moleque. E lá eu tenho que jogar tudo pra direita. Tem alguém chorando aí?
The slave mines stretched away into the distance. And I sometimes wondered if I would ever find my way out. But I never gave up, General.
Of course you didn't. You are a hero, Ivan Ivanovich.
No, General. No. I am no hero. I am a simple toy maker's son from Tomsk.
Herói?
Omsk.
General?
Omsk. You said Tomsk.
I said Omsk.
You said Tomsk.
General, I think I am well aware of the city of my birth.
Perhaps all the moving around as a child confused you.
Eita. Ah, não volta muito longe não. Ai, ai, ai. Pula, pula, pula. Eita, virou uma bola.
On we flew across the deserted, frozen plateau. I was single-handed in my pursuit, dogged in my determination. I would take back little Orpheus and prevent Toll from detonating the bomb.
Ah, you are as humble as ever, Tavares.
Caraca,
Well,
mano, que
General,
viagem esse
you
jogo.
are a great military leader, a great strategist, whereas I am simply the humble son of a watchtoy, toy maker, and driven by patriotic fever with no regard for my own safety. I rushed blindly on.
Mas a musiquinha é da hora. Achei da hora a musiquinha. Tomou. Fica que nem um míssil.
Will our courageous yet unfortunate hero drown in the depths of an
Aí,
inhospitable
irmão,
frozen sea? Will he thaw out in time to prevent Toll from detonating the bomb? Will the general holiday in Omsk next year? Or Tomsk? Or perhaps both? What exactly is the difference between a mammoth and a hairy elephant? All of these questions and more should almost certainly be answered in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
Um, dois, três, opa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Falta 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fiz metade agora, faço metade na próxima live. O jogo é legal, é bem assim, divertido, né? Aqui pode voltar para jogar novamente para você, tá vendo? Tem 0 de 9 ali, para você pegar as coisas. Gosta de platinar provavelmente. Mas é isso aí, valeu por esta live. Depois amanhã tem mais Little Orpheus. Orpheus? Acho que é assim que fala. Mas é nóis, valeu, tamo junto, até. Fui.